Hello everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Phoenix Draconis, and this is Kaon Reviews. Alright, now as you saw in the intro, today's review is going to be a ToyHax review, and it's going to focus on the labels for Studio Series Soundwave, as he and his cassette Ravage are seen in the Bumblebee movie. And when I first heard about the label set through an email from ToyHax, I was like, whoa. And I got a chance to look online, and I have to say I'm very impressed. Now, I don't know if Patriot Prime had already reviewed this. It's been if he has, it's been a while. So kudos to Patriot Prime if he's done it, or sorry I messed up. But nonetheless, I mean, here I have the labels themselves, and I'm going to go ahead and start off with the smallest one. And you have the labels for his face, I believe. Now, looks like there's some for his chest, though I'm not sure if it's for his back or for his front, or I should say when he's in his crab cake mode. So I'll have to look back on the site so I can go ahead and get a more accurate put on there. But very nice here. Now, of course, there's some other labels other than that. And here we have this. Now, it just says on the bottom, oops. Oh, okay. There was one more that was underneath it. So I'm not exactly sure where these labels are going to go to. Again, nice looking, but I'll have to find out a little bit more. Now, for the labels that just came off from behind there, so more labels here, very, very nice. Now this one's on a reflective backing. And then of course this big one over here. There we go. Now it does say for both 86 Soundwave and core class Ravage. So I'll have to see which ones. Now with the core class ones, that's going to be difficult because he is a small figure, and I have very little patience for very small decals. So if I do see, looks like that's the missile pod decal right over here. So we'll see how that goes off. So not too bad in the labels. I look forward to actually placing them on there. But however, I'm going to wind up placing these off camera. So give me a moment to go ahead, and I'm going to go ahead and show you both figures before and after. Alright, so here is Soundwave in his robot mode, and I have to say, he looks so damn awesome, especially as he appeared in the Bumblebee movie at the very beginning sequence. I think the only thing I did have gripes with is that they didn't give him his G1 style weapon, which is very similar to the Canon. The only difference was that they had this piece on the front. So again, that's something that Hasbro had done. So I'm living with it as much as I can. But as you can tell, there's a lot of good molded detail and whatnot, and very little backpack. That's the one thing that a lot of people were liking on. Now, of course, there are and I think I may have mentioned this in his initial review. There are like some gaps here and there along the thighs and so forth, but I would say, if nothing else, I know there is a third-party kit for this. I'll have to go on to TF Safari for that. But other than that, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this robot, how the ToyHax labels will improve this robot. Alright folks, there is Soundwave labeled up, and I have to say the labels do make them pop a lot more. Now here we have, and this is one of the major label upgrades, and it's going to be to his face. I mean, good God almighty, look at that. Now, you know, if you saw my previous review, as well as when I was showing off his before images, he kind of had a really sad look. The labels themselves pretty much minimized that, and it also gave or reduced the blue that was in the middle section of his faceplate. Now, one of the things I do want to let you know, there is a series of labels that is just pretty much nothing but chrome labels that go over his original visor. It is stated those are labeled 9B, and it does state put all the 9B labels on there first before applying 9A, which is the red visor that you see here. Now, for those that probably will have no idea which is 9B, it is on this sheet. So you will just label those all four around his original visor. Then you put in 9A, which there we go, which was on this sheet. And as you can tell, oh wow, yeah, he doesn't look as sad as he once did. But as you can tell, there's also a clear sheet over his chest, which brings out that nice little red design that's on there. In addition, there's some labels here for his forearms, on his thighs, along his shin. His knee also gets a ToyHax label. And let me zoom out just a bit. There we go. Now, in addition, you get some labels here for his feet on either side, on the inside of his thigh, his calf. Here in his crotch area, you got the little buttons there. Got some for his shoulders here, right in the center of his missile launcher. Along his sides here, you also have some for his back area, along with the back of his calves, and of course the back of his shoulders. And I have to say, I am very impressed so far with what I am seeing. So there is Soundwave, you know, labeled up, ToyHax labeled up, and again, I'm very impressed. You know, this is a very good set that I've seen so far. Now, of course, there are, just to let you know, there are a few small labels, so be mindful of those when applying them. All right, and there he is in vehicle mode, and I have to say, I said before in his initial review, This is not one of my favorite modes, to tell you the truth. And I have to wonder, why does Hasbro hate Soundwave so much? I mean, they gave him a really cool robot mode, but then they fucking damned him with this piece of crap alt mode. But you know what? Let me digress, because we're trying to go ahead and do a before and after, you know, in terms of his ToyHax review. So this is what he looks like before, like a stinking crab cake. Like I said, not one of my more favorite modes here, but yeah, yeah, I'm not gonna spend too much time in trying to show you any of the good ones or bad ones. So let's just go ahead and move on what he looks like after. Okay, now we're at after, and this is the crab cake mode. And honestly, this vehicle mode still looks like shit. The only difference is that it's got some really cool labeling now, so it's not so fucking plain. Now, one thing that I do want to mention, and it does mention it in the website, there is a series of labels under here that fit over the individual windows. They say, sorry, didn't mean to type that. They do say to put those labels on before putting these on first. So that's exactly what I did. And now there are some labels that basically will that had transferred over to this mode, and we got these here. We got some labels all around here, but yeah, it hasn't really improved this particular mode all that much. So there is the crab cake mode, you know, labeled up, and that's all I gotta say about it. So give me a moment to transform this back into robot mode, and I'll give you my final thoughts and my final score for this set. Alright folks, now here we have Ravage in his beast mode, and I have to say, the first time I saw Ravage eject from Soundwave in the Bumblebee movie, I was like, wow, that was fucking awesome. And man, oh man, that was, yeah, I have to say, you know, I was so floored. And I have to say, I've seen you know, the statues of them and whatnot, but to have this little guy on here, and he's somewhat posable, a little stiff in certain areas. Ooh. So, but I mean, all in all, I mean, good God Almighty, this is a really awesome looking figure. And I'm gonna try and get down just a little. There we go. So you can tell he's got some really good molded detail on here. Yeah, I mean, he looks awesome, but I am curious as to see how well the ToyHax labels will improve on this figure. So there he is before. Let's take a look at him after. All right, there he is, and he doesn't take much to label up. Of course, the labels are very small, but as you can tell, there's some very minor ones along his face right here. Got a reflective one on the side of his front paw, or I should say his front leg. You see a reflective label with a Decepticon logo. You also see a sticker right here on his missile pod, and of course you do see some stickers here where the pegs are at. But other than that, I have to say that is all there is. Not a whole lot. As a matter of fact, there really isn't a whole lot. Even if I were to transform this into his alternate mode, his box, basically there's not much transfer underway. So that is it right there. So let's go ahead and you know, get him teamed up with Soundwave. Sorry, I'm just at a loss for words. It's late now and I'm just starting to fall asleep. So let's go ahead, get him teamed up with Soundwave. I'm going to go ahead and at that point give you my my final thoughts and my score on this sticker set. Alright folks, there they are together, ToyHaxed up, and they are looking awesome. Now wasn't a whole lot for Ravage, so as you saw, I didn't even bother with an alt review because it just didn't transfer over. Now for Soundwave, as you saw and as you can still see, there was a lot of labels that basically brought out some more details, broken up the monotony in certain areas like his legs and his arms, and also changed the look for one area in particular, most notably his face. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people who have reviewed this had probably said this. Even I made a joke of it earlier. He has such a sad face. So the labels did help out a lot in this particular case. Now for his alt mode, it did add some detail on there, but I still don't like the alt mode. So that is about it. Would I recommend this label set? Yes, I would definitely recommend, especially if you want a little bit more detail along there. Now, in addition to the ToyHax set, I am planning on getting a third-party upgrade that I did see on TF Safari. This will pretty much provide some gap fillers, as well as probably alternate feet for Ravage. So we'll see how that's going to turn out. I'll more than likely revisit this figure again when I do get that. But that is my take on the figure there. Now, before I go ahead and do anything further, let me give you my final score on this figure. So on a scale of 1 through 10, in terms of the ToyHax label set for Studio Series Soundwave from the Bumblebee movie and the core class Ravage, I'm going to go ahead and give this set a 9. It did improve a lot with the figure. Like I said, it broke up the monotony in certain areas, and it gave a little bit more for Ravage. But a 9, yes, I will give that set a 9. Now that is my take on that set. I want to hear from you. Were you able to go ahead and go on ToyHax.com and pick up a set? And if you did you like the set? Did you hate it? Leave me your comments about it in the comment section down below. like, share, subscribe to my channel. Click onto the bell icon so you can be notified when I post up new videos. Once again, I'd like to go ahead and thank all of you for watching, for liking my videos. I'd like to go ahead and continue on doing this. And I look forward to the next video. This is FEDEX Draconis, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Peace.